Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it inside. Hey scrappers, Tom from the iScrap app, and today is Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. I am filming this remotely. I'm at a conference learning about all types of different scrap, electricity, things like that. So if you have questions about what I'm doing, please comment below. But hey, listen, we've had a very good week, and let's just go over a bunch of different things that have happened over the last few days. And let's start with one of the most exciting things, the iScrap store. We launched a store where you can buy all types of gear, hats, shirts that have the iScrap logo on it. We have some really cool phrases and sayings. So please check out the links that we're going to have in this video. And you can also, if you're subscribing to any of our emails, you'll be able to get that. So click, there's different colors, lots of different sizes. We've seen a lot of orders come in since we did a kind of a soft launch the other day. So check that out. But let's jump right into the markets and let's talk about copper because it has a very interesting few days. We've talked about this Chinese surplus happening, and more news of that took place on Monday, which quickly led to a market rally, having copper go over the $4 trading level for the first time since early to mid-April. Now, why is that important? Copper bottomed out at 360 trading level, and seeing it go all the way back up to $4 is a really positive sign. And let me just remind everyone of a few different things. In 2022, when the Ukrainian conflict started, we saw copper prices jump. But don't forget, we also saw copper prices bottom out with the market trading all the way down to about the 315 level. So the fact that we've had copper prices rebounding in 2023 and really holding strong says a lot. But the prices jumping on Monday, they went up 10 cents. But on Tuesday, and this is what I always say, you need 3 days of increases or stable prices for scrapyards to change their markets. Now, we've seen Bear Bright averaging over $3 a pound over the last 30 days. That's a really great start. We've seen some big prices. You can see some reported prices here, 350, 285, 260, 340, 350, different parts of the country. So different scrapyards get a little more aggressive depending on their size. But the copper stimulus talks that were coming out of China kind of quickly stalled. There was kind of it came out on Monday, markets went up. You can see a bunch of these copper prices that are being reported here, a lot of green over the last 30 days, just showing the strength of the copper market over that time. But yesterday, we quickly saw those markets go down 11 cents a pound. That 401 number quickly dissipated to 390. And as of this recording, it was at 386 this morning on Wednesday. So, we look at these markets every day and we try to learn what's going on. What's happening right now is a lot of rumors, not a lot of stable prices. And that's why you might not see the copper prices jumping at your scrapyards, because think about it. In a 3-day period, we saw up 11 cents, up 10 cents, down 11 cents, down 4 cents. That's a 25-cent up and down swing, and that is the opposite of what we want. We want stable. This is not stable. This is jumpy, right? So when we have jumpy prices, it's never going to lead to long-term sustainability. So if you're looking to learn more about what we think, check out the weekly report. We have the link below, and we'll be able to go from there. Now, one of the other reasons that we've really had a lot of increased copper prices and stabilization is a lot of the energy. We've seen these energy costs coming down over the last few months, even though they're starting to rise. And if you tune into the video that we recorded last week with our energy economist, Mark Champagne, he explained a lot of what was happening over 2022 and 2023 with the energy prices. And he explained how the energy prices are going to be affecting the scrap metal market going into the next year, really the next 6 months, but really forecasting into next year depending on how things swing. So it was a really interesting recap of the first half of 2023 and then kind of preview to the second half of 2023. But we have that video on YouTube, and Mark not only talks about energy prices like oil, he also talks about the demand for electric vehicles, how that's going to impact the grid. and different materials that are going to go into electric vehicles that may increase the copper demand in the coming years as we see the further electrification of the markets moving forward when it comes to the auto side of things. And while I always talk about EVs, it seems every week I'm mentioning them. Let's talk about cars in specific, and let's talk about the PGM group with the catalytic converters. Now, this is always brought to you by rrcats.com, providing free quotes, providing 10-day price lock guarantees, and free shipping on all OEM catalytic converters. So check out rrcats.com today. But let me tell you about an article I read earlier today, and it was talking about the different PGM groups. They were talking about how platinum and palladium, really just those two, not rhodium as much. And they were talking about how they were following gold over the last few months and how gold had bottomed out over a period of time. We've seen a little bit of a resurgence. But what we're seeing now is markets that are kind of dipping themselves down. In May, we saw platinum and palladium dropping anywhere from 10 to 20%, and a small rebound happened in June, in June, July. But let me rephrase that. Let me start over. In June, we saw platinum and palladium dropping. In July, I forget that it's already August here. July, we saw a small uptick, but that had to do in the article that I read directly about the auto demand and how the weakening auto demand is hurting the sale of catalytic converter scrap because the different PGMs aren't as valuable. Now, let's think about that. Why may that be? Well, a lot of people didn't get cars in 2020. They fulfilled them finally in 2021 through orders, got them in 2022. So a lot of people kind of accelerated even car purchasing that they didn't want to do because they had to put orders in for vehicles, right? What else have we saw? Interest rates went up again last week. So we're seeing that the financing on new cars is increasing. The monthly payments on new cars is increasing. And we're not seeing that decreased used car market as much as that we thought was going to be predicted. So that means more cars are staying on the road longer. Less scrap is going in, and instead of people, opting for renewable vehicles or EV vehicles that can be powered by renewable energy, they're sticking with their gas engines, their diesel engines. And platinum and palladium are needed in that auto sector to create better catalytic converters. And if people aren't buying cars as fast in 2023 going into 2024, we just do not expect to see a resurgence in the PGM group of metals. I don't expect platinum, palladium, or rhodium to have any type of large increases for the rest of this year. Now, this is based on talking to people, reading different articles, talking to larger catalytic converter processors that buy tens of thousands of catalytic converters a month, seeing their own slowdown happening. And while certain companies may be opening new locations, the profit may not be there for a year and a half to 2 years when it comes to catalytic converters. So if you're one of the people that are kind of holding on to their cats, you may be holding on for a long time because I really don't see any type of increase happening anytime in 2023. So check out some of the prices on rrcats.com, get a free price quote. This way you have an idea what's going on with the markets. And from there, we'll just kind of learn as we go. Now, one other thing that I try to talk about is the iScrap app itself, right? So we have this app out there that's free to download on your iPhones and your Androids through the Google Play Store and the App Store. But you also have the online version. And if we bring up the online version, there are a bunch of features that you can check out, and you can report a lot of the prices that you're getting at the scrap yards directly through the app itself on your phone or the website. So here you see, you can go to iScrapApp.com, and on the top black bar, you see the different prices, right? That prices, news, yards, etc. So when you click on prices, this is what's going to come up. And these are kind of done numerically, alphabetically. So you can see all different markets over the last 30 days. These are the averages for reported prices. Now, some metals are going to have more prices because they're more common. Some are going to have less prices. But what this gives you is a really good national indicator of what's going on across the United States and Canada. So when you click on an item like copper tubing, you'll see $2.92. Next to it, you see a little American flag. If you're in Canada, you can click on that American flag, switch it over to the Canadian flag, and quickly have the prices kind of switched over, so we're able to show you what the denomination would be in Canada, so you have an idea. And just so everyone knows, if you report prices in US dollars or Canadian dollars, it automatically converts. So these prices you can see here for number one tubing, these are all prices reported in the last 2 or 3 days. 328, 307, 291, 321, 340. These are numbers that give you an idea of what's going on and let you compare your prices that you're getting at your yard to what other people are getting, and might even give you a negotiating tactic when it comes to larger loads of scrap, working with your scrap yards. And we filmed lots of videos and wrote lots of blogs on negotiating with your scrap yard. So you'll be able to learn about how to get better prices and kind of go from there. And talking about prices, I can't not talk about the steel prices. So let's go and talk about the steel market, which we've now seen 2 weeks in a row increases of about $10 to $15 per ton. So we've seen some nice increases finally coming through here. By filtering through, you can see all these different metals that are on here: busheling, automobiles, number one prepared, HMS, light iron, car prices. This gives you an idea of all the different markets. And we've seen a smaller increase week over week of about $20 total. So that's a positive sign. I still don't think that we're going to see huge increases happening this year in any way, shape, or form. It's just not in the cards. We don't have a strong enough worldwide economic growth happening, paired with higher interest rates, people starting to save money. New presidential election in the US affects the entire world, believe it or not. So these are things that we look at when it comes to steel prices. And without large infrastructure worldwide going in, we're not going to see that. And I think we talked about this in the last few weeks. The infrastructure bill that was passed in the US, that's just not like building bridges and needing guardrail. That's talking about internet. That's talking about EV installations. That infrastructure is not going to increase the demand on steel recycling anytime soon. But what we are starting to see is some local mills inside the United States have now finished some of their summer projects. So they kind of shut themselves down for a little while, decreased some of the domestic prices, increased some of the export prices. But we've seen these local mills opening up. Local mills opening up again is a good thing. It's because they need more feed going in. So it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with the steel prices paired with the higher oil prices that Mark talked about in the video on YouTube. Just going to give you a different idea what's going on. Now, other news, the lead market has been relatively soft over the last month or so, but we finally started to see car battery prices, which is based on lead, starting to increase. So seeing the lead prices starting to increase is great. If you look at the battery prices, we have them right around 14 cents a pound nationally right now. We've seen a smaller increase of about a penny per pound over the last month or so. You know, listen, I don't ever expect to see car battery prices going into the 40-cent range or even the 30-cent range probably ever again, unless lead has some newfound way to make its way into the EV world. I just don't see that happening here. We have a 12-cent national average. So in the last month, we have seen a decreased price. And if you look at the price history, 10 cents, 13, 13, 14, 14, you know, that's kind of where you're going to be throughout the country, plus or minus a couple of pennies. But scrap yards generally have about a 4 to 5 cent processing cost when it comes to batteries. They're heavy. They need to be more careful packaging them. And that generally leads to things being worth less money, where they can make less money per pound on something like Bear Bright, where it gets thrown into a box and they don't have to touch it again. And you kind of go from there. Now, in the coming weeks, we did a poll recently talking about auto scrap and how to properly recycle a car. So we're going to have some videos coming out, a whole series of videos, me on site at an auto wrecker, taking a car apart, talking about what's worth money. So really be on the lookout. And if there's anything that you want us to add to that video or set of videos, let us know so we can make that video while we're on site. And if there's any other information that you're looking for to learn, we have new videos that come out every week on YouTube. And we have special videos that come out to our YouTube members that subscribe to our YouTube. So if you're looking to get more information from me when I learn about it, really quickly, you know, I'm going to start filming these as frequently as I can, posting them on there, and gives you more information about the markets overall. So listen, don't forget, not only do we have these weekly videos, we also have our weekly report on iScrapApp.com. You can get some gear through our new iScrap store. So you can go on there, get some t-shirts, and post yourself online and tag us if you are wearing your new iScrap gear. We'd love to see it. We saw a guy the other day order a bunch of shirts because he just said that he didn't have any when he was out working. He was in the market for some new shirts, so that was awesome. So I can't wait to see some pictures of people wearing them. I myself bought some. Believe it or not, I buy them too. I'll be wearing them in the coming weeks in some of the videos that we're going to be making, so that'll just be neat to see. So scrappers, here we are, beginning of August. Generally, in my opinion, one of the top 2 or 3 worst months of the year when it comes to scrap trading. Kind of December, January, August for me are some of the worst ones. It's a heavy vacation month. It's mills coming back online. People don't know what's going on going into the end of the third quarter. A lot of earnings just came out, so some companies had good reports and bad reports, and you're starting to see some contraction in the overall economy, some different jobs or a lack of hiring right now. So it's just going to be interesting to see how all these economic factors kind of weigh themselves in. So today is August 2nd, 2023. Please ask us questions, request videos to be made, and until next week, scrappers, I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for checking out this scrap video. For more exclusive scrap video content, please become a YouTube member of our channel today. Thank you, and I'll scrap you later.